This is a new platform. It's their newer platform. It's been around for a few years. The Punch uses the same platform. You can feel the difference in age of these cars, the Punch and the Altroz, versus the Nexon, which is using an age-old platform.
Right.
You can feel the difference in the way they drive. And this is something that you have to understand. As much as the Nexon is attractive and it's an SUV, but when you actually drive the Altroz, you'll find the better balance of comfort and suspension and how it feels.
Correct.
Right?
But the Altroz isn't an SUV, so your point is falling on deaf ears.
Well, those are your choices. And coming back to the Altroz and this platform, it's always been a great base in terms of suspension setup, how the chassis is. It was always a good car to drive.
Correct.
So what they are saying is that they haven't fiddled around with the base of the car much.
Okay.
What they've done is they've gone for more power. What they've done is given it a 6-speed manual gearbox instead of the 5-speed manual that was there. And with this, what we've come to understand is that the I-Turbo, this engine is called the I-Turbo.
Okay.
And that was available on the Altroz earlier, is no longer available in the 110 horsepower tune.
Across the range.
So the Altroz doesn't get that at all now. So if you want the I-Turbo, it's this version which is called the I-Turbo Plus.
Which is only in the Racer.
Correct, as of now.
And the other cars have what? Non-turbo petrols.
So the other petrols in the Altroz are non-turbos.
Got it.
And that engine is a duck. I mean, I remember at the first drive way back when the Altroz was launched and when we drove that, I couldn't make sense of that engine. Back then it was really rough. Power delivery was all over the place. It wasn't smooth. And by default, the recommendation then was go for the diesel.
Okay.
Right? Today, with the Racer, there's a very nice situation.
Okay.
I would say, if you're looking to buy an Altroz, I would say go for the Racer as the default recommendation.
And yeah, that means you'll have to live with the contrast bonnet and the stripes and all of that. But for the moment, you don't have a choice about it.
Hopefully, Tata won't force you to do that, because for a lot of people, that contrast color, those stripes
it's too much.
Are too much.
Yeah, it's too much.
Are too much. In which case, you'll have to live with that until they decide to offer it.
And to me, you should have the choice. Can I get a normal looking Altroz that has the turbo engine, which obviously drives well from whatever I've heard from him so far? Or I am a more extroverted personality and I don't mind the stripes and the contrast bonnet, in which case I get the Racer Edition. But the Racer Edition hosting the only good engine on the petrol side sounds like a bad idea. And therefore, I think Tata will immediately roll out 3200 variants of this car, in which will be non-striped versions with the I-Turbo Plus engine.
So on this point, they did add more variants as soon as the Racer was launched. So the Racer is available in R1, R2, R3.
You know, sometimes I feel like I can predict things now.
No, they're like, we want to hear Shumi complain. So they immediately launched an Lux S or something plus, something Z, something S, because the Altroz Racer has got a few extra features.
Okay.
It got a larger touchscreen, it got a 360-degree camera, it got ventilated seats. So the only feature that's not been passed on to the regular Altroz, so to speak, is the ventilated seat function.
But with the engine is still not there. But the I-Turbo Plus is not in these other variants.
No.
So you can get ventilated seats with the terrible petrol or the diesel.
No, you can't get the ventilated seats also over there. You get the larger screen.
Okay.
You get the 360-degree camera. Okay. But you don't get the ventilated seats and you don't get this more powerful engine.
Thanks, Tata. That's so clear.
It's just a mess, because I would love to recommend this to people who just want a regular Altroz. That's good. And when we're talking about the Racer, the first thing that we want to talk about in terms of performance is fuel efficiency.
Now, once again. Is it making more torque at least? This I-Turbo Plus?
So compared to the I-Turbo, regular I-Turbo, I think so. I don't remember the numbers exactly now. This is 120 and 170 Newton meters, 120 horsepower and 170 Newton meters. So it would be a bit more, but I don't have the exact numbers.
Okay.
The difference is, what they have said is that they've taken the engine from the Nexon, but they've tuned it for the Altroz. The gearing and all is the same. And this is a bit of a mess. I know after driving it, I checked out a little bit about what happened at Coimbatore, and it turned out there were things said that the suspension is tuned differently, gearing is different and stuff like that. From whatever I know and whatever we spoke to Tata, they said categorically there's not any difference in terms of the mechanicals. Okay. Which means I even asked whether the SKU for the suspension is the same as the regular Altroz, and I was told it's the same.
So the part numbers of the suspension from normal Altrozes to the Racer are exactly the same. Gearbox. So no suspension tuning, clearly. Okay.
Gearbox, same.
Okay.
No difference. It's a 6-speed. It has the same ratios. What they said was the engine is tuned differently.
From the
The
Nexon.
architecture is the same. There's no difference at all on that. Bore, stroke, all of that is the same.
That is a clip from MotorInc. And what that means is, if you'd like to see more of these, you can do two things. One is stay on this channel, subscribe and watch more, or you can come to the main MotorInc channel where you'll find a much longer video that discusses this idea in a lot more detail.